Nick Saban joins College Game Day. Is that good, bad, or indifferent for the SEC and Tennessee?
I think it's indifferent for the SEC and Tennessee. I think it's bad for College Game Day. I don't I don't think Nick Saban's that good as an analyst. He's so dry, right? Like he is the most. You can't even impersonate him. He's so dry, and you love to do impersonations, but you can't even impersonate Nick Saban.
Oh, we're on to prime time. I I actually disagree. I think he'll be incredible. I think there are other guys out there too that you wondered if they'd be any good. I didn't think Tony Romo would be any good, and he's good. I think he wants to be great at everything that he could be. And now, what I have,
I think it's going to be like Eli Manning on the Manning cast, who shouldn't be on the Manning cast. It should just be Peyton.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, I'm banned from Facebook. I think we played something copyrighted. I don't know. I've been doing everything I can to get back in there. Misinformation, shaking my. Yeah, but the Facebook ban. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. We're trying to get involved because a lot of people do watch us on Facebook. So I apologize to those, but they can't hear me, so it really doesn't matter. But Caleb, I think Saban will be excellent. But I don't think it's great for schools like Tennessee that run up tempo, that aren't as physical as he wanted to be, like to be. I think naturally he will side with the Georgias of the world, not because he knows Kirby Smart, but he will side with the more physical teams. And it won't do Tennessee any favors when he talks about the Vols. And I don't think it's a conspiracy thing. I think he just sees it that way. You say tomato, I say tomato. He prefers tomato. Josh Heupel prefers tomato.
I mean, Gary Danielson, you talked about how much he's hated the changes to the game. That didn't really hurt anybody, or that didn't hurt Tennessee at all, or anything like that. I mean, Saban can give his commentary.
That helped everybody and hurt every defense.
What, Gary Danielson's commentary?
No, his theory of college football is bastardized because you can block downfield.
That didn't stop them from that didn't make them change the rules to stop downfield blocking, though. Like what
I didn't say Gary Danielson had power, but I'm just saying if Nick Saban's up there and he's doing picks instead of Lee Corso or Pat McAfee or whoever else they can get without sleeves, I don't think it helps Tennessee. I just think he's going to be on the side of the more physical teams, and I don't think
is that going to make a difference? Like, is that really going to make, like, I'm trying to think of a way that would make a difference in terms of, like, do you think Nick Saban running propaganda is going to help affect recruiting, where kids are going to like start to believe that this is the way football should be played?
No, I don't think it makes a big difference, but I don't think you want a guy that's up on TV picking against your school every single week, do you?
Yeah, you do. Do you not remember Tennessee's heyday at 98? There was a streak of Lee Corso from like 97 to 2000 where every College Game Day that involved Tennessee, he picked against Tennessee. Every single one. And newsflash, that was the best era for Tennessee football. As a matter of fact, College Game Day did 3 Tennessee games there in 98. They did not do the one in Knoxville. They did 3 Tennessee games away from home in 98. And all 3 of them, Corso picked the other team. One of them was the national title. One of them, Dave, was the Tennessee-Georgia game in 98. Remember that? And he picked Georgia to beat Tennessee in 98. By the way, Tennessee was an underdog in that game. That's the dumbest spread that Vegas ever set, making them an underdog to Quincy Carter and Jim Donnan. And so, but yes, Corso, and then 2001, the Swamp, the big upset, Corso was there, put on the Gator hat. And I'm just saying, Tennessee fans loved it. If Nick Saban constantly picks against Tennessee fans are going to absolutely love this. I'm just telling you. And because they already love to hate Nick Saban.
Well, I think he'll be really good, but you tend to think he'll be bad. Is that the moral of the story?
All right. You do your best Nick Saban impersonation. We're doing a pick. Tennessee versus Georgia. Nick, who do you think's going to win this game?
I think Georgia. We're on to West Virginia, Nebraska.
Exactly. That's going to be Nick Saban as an analyst. Okay.
That's pretty good though, right?
You actually did pretty good. You know what's funny? Nick Saban and Greg Sankey kind of sound similar to me because they're very like mellow when they talk with like all political answers. But I mean political. I mean, like, you know what I mean? They say nothing.
I hadn't
And
seen that, but I'll keep my eye open for it. I hadn't seen that at this
they're the same
point.
person. Have you ever seen them in the same room?
I
All
haven't.
the all the conspiracy theories that Nick Saban has Greg Sankey's ear. Maybe he just is Greg Sankey. Have you ever seen them in the same room?
No, but I've never heard Jeremy Pruitt and Nick Saban say "I" together. 60 Seconds, the show represented by Banks and Jones. Banks and Jones? Well, it's because they're Tennessee's trial attorney. You can play to win with Banks and Jones because they'll go to trial. You've heard of other lawyers. They say they'll go to trial and fight for you. They won't. They just want to settle. That's the easiest way out. Well, that's not Banks and Jones, led by T. Scott Jones. They won't settle. They'll go to trial for you. Tennessee's trial attorney. They play to win. Truly, Tennessee's trial attorney when it comes to criminal defense or personal injury. Why settle? It's Banks and Jones. T. Scott Jones. BanksandJones.com. I'm really surprised that you don't think Nick Saban will do good on TV or do well on TV. Would you have thought? Let me list off some names here. And would you have thought they would have done well on TV? Bill Cowher? I would have not. I would.
Yes, Bill Cowher, super animated. Was always animated in interviews. I could have seen Bill Cowher doing good.
Okay, I didn't think he would do good. Did you think? I'm sure you thought Michael Strahan would take over for Regis, right? Didn't he do that? Take over Regis and Kathy Lee?
I did not see that happening.
What have they done with that fiasco?
I don't know. I mean, and I'll give you Shannon Sharp. I mean, I'm a guy with a list with that Southern drawl. I did not think he'd make it be as good on TV as he is. Shannon Sharp, and
he's really, if he could do something with his speech impediment / draw, if you want to call it.
I think it's part of his shtick now. It's hilarious. It actually adds. Kind of like Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley has a borderline speech impediment, but it's funny now. It's part of his game.
Now, and I've heard a lot of Cam Newton, and he has no control of the English language whatsoever. That has totally eluded him. That
won't be Saban's problem, but
will there be another Tennessee player that will have anywhere close to the TV success that Peyton Manning has had? Is there another one out there brewing?
He's on our show, Ron Slay, baby.
Ron Slay. Ron, but how about?
What's up, everybody? This is Jacob Warren asking you to like, subscribe, and share. Dave needs this.
Jacob might be on TV with me here in a couple of weeks.
I mean, I could see that, but look, I will say this: that okay, Nick Saban going to College GameDay is like when Shaq went to Inside the NBA. Shaq is horrible.
Let me ask this as on our message board. Do you believe that Nick Saban will set aside all of his subjectivity, that he will truly be objective? Or do you think that Nick Saban will not like Auburn, will not like Tennessee, and that will come across in his broadcast? Because whether or not it does come across, a lot of people are going to believe that.
No, what I think is going to happen more is I think he's going to be. Here's where I think he's going to be subjective and political. Is I think he's going to purposely favor Alabama a lot early, and here's why. I want to be honest. It's not because he's going to be biased to Alabama. Nick Saban is smart. You would agree Nick Saban plays chess while the rest of us play checkers, right?
Well, not me. Maybe you. I got you as I got you as an Uno guy.
So here's what if I can picture this. I know Nick Saban can picture this. Do you remember when Phil Fulmer was a CBS analyst right after he got fired for a couple of years?
No.
He was. He actually was on that CBS studio with Spencer Tillman for a minute. There were about 3 times he did picks, and he always picked against Tennessee. Now, he was right. He was right when he picked against Tennessee, but it came across to every Tennessee fan that he's just bitter about being fired, so he's trying to throw Tennessee under the bus. Now, Nick Saban wasn't fired by Alabama. He retired. But there's an argument that if Nick Saban picks against Alabama, he knows that everybody will start saying, well, he's just picking against Alabama because he wants to make it clear Alabama's nothing without him because he's just that arrogant. So I think to avoid that talk, he's going to be very friendly to Alabama for a couple of years.